Hello and welcome back to 5 and 5, where we take 5 minutes to ask industry leaders 5 questions to try and help you take a little bit of value and some info to help deal with this crazy period. We are very lucky to have the wonderful Richard Burkhead from BBDO here. Hello, Rich. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. Hot.
Singapore for you. So our viewers get to know you a little bit better. Can you tell me an interesting fact about yourself?
I can. So this is not my first, I would say, humanitarian crisis. A few years ago, whilst traveling, I survived a major earthquake in Nepal, and I was about 20 kilometers away from the epicenter of it. So that's probably the most interesting thing that's ever happened.
Oh, wow. And you survived to tell the tale. So
I did a long walk, a 3-day walk back to Kathmandu from a place called Langtan. Yeah, it's a long tale. If you ever buy me a drink, then I'll tell you about it.
done. Okay, so you work in a massive creative agency with lots of brands. Are there any specific campaigns or virtual innovations that are particularly standing out for you in this period?
Yeah, it's a good question. Lots of interesting things coming up as people kind of react and understand how they want to talk and how they want to empathize with people. But the one that has really stood out for me is the latest Dove campaign for courage, which has been a wonderfully executed piece of work showing the faces of first-line responders. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I think it's a really, really poignant moment. It works really well for the brand. And the brands value their campaign for real beauty. It's just an extension of that, but done in a way that I think really puts the first line responders on a pedestal where they should and thoroughly deserve to be. So a classic piece of work, just executed really, really nicely.
Awesome. So what do you think is the most important step that brands should be making right now to future-proof themselves?
Looking after their own people, if I'm honest. You know, it's interesting, and a lot of brands have come to us and sort of said, look, how do we react? How do we communicate to this? And more so than more so than ever, it's practicing what you preach, and really making sure that your own people come first and foremost. And once you've then sorted out your own people and made sure that they are being looked after in the best possible way, then we can talk about how we talk to your customers and talk to the market. You know, a lot of people are going quiet. I'm not necessarily sure that's the way. It'll be interesting to see, you know, length of time, how long this develops for, and how the communications change over that. But yeah, first and foremost, look after yourselves.
Okay. So you have 5 seconds to think. If we gave you $1 million, what would be a unique virtual experience that you would create to entertain everyone that's isolating at home?
So the thing that I am missing most, naturally being in Singapore's hot and humid climate, is swimming. So if I could invent virtual swimming, including the feeling of being in water, that I think would be really next level for me. But obviously that would be quite an undertaking. But something
to do that you could probably put some headphones in, and like that's the sound of that water, and there must be like something. Okay.
Have a sort of some sort of thermo suit that would simulate the feeling of instant cold, or maybe just a big pool full of water that could change the temperature very quickly. So it would make you feel like you're in water, something like that, but just something that would help people that are at home to have, you know, especially if you're trapped at home with other people, you're on your own, that little moment of self-reflection and quiet, which I always get when I'm swimming.
Okay, I think you're onto something there. So last question, Rich, what excites you about this concept of moving into virtual innovation?
Look, I think it's just the challenge itself of having to do it. You know, at BBDO, we are a very collaborative agency, and I think all agencies have to be collaborative. And doing that remotely is a challenge in itself. You know, specifically when you're looking at developing creative ideas. A creative idea is very rarely one person's genesis. It's a complete collaborative effort. you know, we've been talking to clients recently, and we always do about what's called we have a tool called a BBDO workout, where for 3 days we get 50 people or 30 people in a room together, all of our creatives, all of our planners, and the clients to sort of a giant brainstorm essentially. And how do you do that remotely? You know, so just all of the thinking and the intelligence is still there because it's all driven by people. It's just how you bring those people together in increasingly powerful ways. You know, as an account handler, that's essentially my job, is to get these people that are far smarter and far more interesting and engaging than I am, and get them to come together in really, really powerful ways. So how to do that remotely is a challenge, and I think that's the most exciting thing for me is actually just the challenge itself. You know, we
Right.
to see whether we can do this and do it effectively over, you know, an undefined period of time, with a lot of challenges coming from client side, from the wider economy and so on and so forth, and seeing how we can make it work. So you know, the threat of the new for some people can be quite, for me, it's quite interesting and quite different, and I'm really enjoying it.
Awesome. Okay, thank you so much, Rich. We've run out of time, but until next time, this has been
Cool.
5 and 5. Thanks.
See you later. Thanks.